Hello everyone, I'm Bro1322 and welcome to another GTA content creator video where we're going to be going over the 12 best Xbox One creations from the content creator live streams that we've been doing. First up here is Bring Some Muscle, which is a very fast paced track. I definitely recommend doing it in muscle cars. The reason that I'm showcasing it in sports is just to have the same car in every single track so that you can look at the tracks differently rather than having a different view from some of the cars. But yeah, really fast-paced track, interesting layout, quite a challenge in a lot of cars, but certainly in muscle as well. But yeah, this is following on from the PS4 version of this video that we did last week, where we went over the best PS4 creations that we've done from the live stream. And for those who aren't aware of what we're doing with this, every single week we do a live stream where I play tracks from the community submit tracks, I play some of the best on the actual live stream, and then I've basically gone back through all of those tracks that we've played in the first 28 weeks of doing it, gone back through all of them on each platform because we do PS4, Xbox One, then PC every single week. I've gone back through all of them, chosen my 12 favourite tracks, the tracks that I think are the best on each platform out of those that we've played, and then put them all into one video so that you guys can watch them like this and get the links for them that are down below in the description. The format for this one is exactly the same as last week's video with PS4, where we'll have 6 what you would consider to be regular circuit races, not necessarily have to be full-on event style races with pit lanes, but regular road tarmac races. Then we'll have 2 rally races followed by 2 stunt races, and then 2 themed style circuits, which could be a variety of different types of themes, but the race generally has to fit in with whatever the theme of the track is going for. So the one thing that I will point out if you're watching this is, I know that the Xbox One community is the smallest, and it's one of those that we've had the most difficulty getting track submissions for. PS4 is generally the biggest, with PC not being too far behind it in terms of the amount of tracks that are submitted, and therefore generally the population on those platforms. But Xbox One is quite small in comparison to the others, so although there might not be as many of you interested in this video as much because you're not really playing on the platform, you can still get some good ideas from the tracks that you see here. Like I said in the PS4 video last week, these are the kind of tracks that you should be aiming to create if you're creating tracks on your own platform. These are the ones that sort of are doing all the right things. So you can look at the tracks that we see in these videos and be able to get an idea of your own tracks. And I would recommend anybody who does create circuits, who wants some ideas, don't just watch the video for your platform or the live streams for your platform. Watch them for all the platforms, because you'll get ideas from everywhere. Everybody's got the same tools to work with, so you're always going to get ideas even from different platforms. But the one thing that I will say is that probably the single best stunt race that I've ever played across all platforms playing GTA. We've done 28 weeks of live streams with 7 tracks every single week on all these platforms. The single best stunt circuit that I've ever played will feature in this video, obviously towards the end when we do the 2 stunt races. One of those is probably the best stunt race that I've ever played across all platforms, so GG to the Xbox guys for that, or at least the person who created it anyway. So you got to give them credit, and there's certainly no difference between the quality of the creations on all platforms. It's just that there's less of them on Xbox, but they're all very, very high quality, and the top 12 that we're seeing here on Xbox are certainly just as good as the top 12 that we see on the other platforms as well. So obviously we had Fort Z testing grounds, just as we've just seen, a really nice Fort Zancudo race, not overly complicated, just keeping it relatively simple and utilizing Fort Zancudo really well. And then here we've got In the Rear View, which sparked the big lamppost debate of 2017 that we had on the podcast and on the live stream itself, where it featured. But it is just a very nice track overall, regardless of what I think about whether lampposts could be covered over more so. If it was trying to be a full-on event style circuit, then that might be the case, but if it's just wanting to be a casual playlist style race that you can have some good racing on and a bit of fun, then this suits that perfectly. We go around the the track, and then we go around in the sort of sewer drain area. Brand new areas of the map being utilized by good prop usage, and creating a brand new experience, a brand new racing route that you can race along to again enhance the experience. And this is something that I often say on the live streams themselves, that to stand out these days you do need to bring something new to the table. There are a few tracks that we see in the Xbox One, the PS4 and the PC videos of the best ofs that are just sort of what you might consider standard routes. So they're just utilizing the roads that are around GTA, and it's the incredible quality of the prop usage and how they've been developed that is what makes them such a good track. But there's only so much you can do with regular routes. What you're starting to see now is that with the new content creator tools, with the Cunning Stunts update, we had a lot, and then we've had a lot added since then as well. With all these brand new tools, we're getting tracks that not only are very, very high quality creations in terms of prop usage and ability to race on them cleanly, but also they create new experiences. This is a great example of Fistering here, where it's using sandy shores, but it's not just limiting itself to the roads in sandy shores. It's using some stunt props, some new track pieces to create bridges, extend the track out further, and that's the sort of thing that you've got to do to really stand out. Now, I would recommend against doing that too much. You know, tracks can become a bit stale if you utilize stunt props too much. But when they're wonderfully blended together like this, where you're using regular roads alongside stunt props in a great way to create a brand new experience in that area of the map, then those are the kind of tracks that are ultimately the best. And that's the kind of tracks that we see most in these videos, in the PS4, the Xbox One, and then the PC version of this video. This best of will be next week as well. Those are the kind of tracks that we see the most. Red, Black or Green here is the kind of track that I was mentioning just a few minutes ago. This doesn't do that. This doesn't do what I mentioned previously when it comes to extending the track anywhere. It is using the regular roads around Grapeseed here in the same way. Basically, the idea being that you could have created, and this track did exist, you could have created this track without all these brand new props, without all the Cunning Stunts props. There's nothing about the track that extends it any further that you can only do using these new track pieces or anything like that. So this is just put in there because it's such a high quality creation, and it's not to say that every single track has to have extended parts or brand new areas created. It's not absolutely necessary, because as long as the track has a good route and is well created like this one is, an older style route that only uses the regular roads around GTA is perfectly possible to create, and perfectly possible to be a very, very high quality racing circuit. Obviously there are a few small additions made, which is what makes it, you know, up there with the absolute best, but on the face of it, it is still a route that could have been created with the old style of props. So, you know, you don't have to do something extravagant, as long as whatever you do has high quality to it. It doesn't have to have an amazing amount of innovation in terms of layout. The most important thing is that it is just a high quality circuit. And like I said with the PS4 video last week, all the tracks that we play on the live streams are at least of a good quality. I'm not saying that any track that was played on the live stream that I haven't featured in this video isn't a good circuit, and I certainly recommend people watching this who haven't seen the live streams to go back and watch the live streams for your specific platform to see some more tracks that might interest you. And obviously these are all only my personal preferences. There might be other tracks that you prefer to race on more, so feel free to check out the live streams. They're all obviously in the playlist that's linked below in the description. But these are my personal favorites. These are the ones that I think are the best. I have a team of testers who go through all the tracks when they are submitted, so you guys can submit your circuits, and then the testers will rate them and rank them based on how good they are in terms of quality creations, in terms of prop usage, in terms of checkpoints and things like that. And then I generally play some of the best at a random choice from the highest rated tracks from the testers on the live streams, and then basically these videos are containing the best of those high quality levels of circuits. So that we start with a hell of a lot of tracks that are submitted, and then we whittle that down to a lot of tracks that we play on the live streams, and then we still have to play in future weeks. The live streams are definitely not ending anytime soon, and then these videos are basically taking all those tracks that we've played from weeks 1 to weeks 28 on the Xbox side, and I've chosen my 12 personal favourites of all those tracks. So these are what I think are the best, and they're all really up there for all sorts of different reasons, but ultimately they're just really high quality creations that you can have great racing on and are a lot of fun. So Tour de la Outlands here is another example of extending the track using a bit of road that leads into the dock area, and then extending the track out to this piece of road that isn't used all that often in races, because it's kind of out in the sticks a little bit. But by using some stunt track pieces to extend a road from the docks area to this area of the map, it creates a brand new experience and links two parts of the map together that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to race around. So this is the final track in the 6 regular proper racing circuits, you could say, the regular road circuits, and then we're going to move on to 2 rally circuits. So like I said, it's exactly the same format that we had from the PS4 video last week, where we have half of the tracks are proper racing circuits, then we have 2 rally circuits, 2 stunt circuits, and 2 themed circuits. I have to say that the 2 rally circuits are very good for slightly different reasons. These don't have to be rally circuits in particular, they can be just off-road circuits using trophy trucks or something like that, but it's just so happened that the choices so far have been more geared towards rally circuits, and it is a popular category to submit a track in. But this is certainly up there with the Redwood Rallycross 0.74 track that we saw in the PS4 video last week. This track, Gran Senora Rallycross, is certainly up there with that track as one of the best rallycross tracks that I've played on this game, regardless of platform. It does everything that a rallycross track should. When I think of a rallycross track, I think of the FIA World Rallycross Series, and creating rallycross tracks that would be suitable, for example, to be used in that series, that are similar in style to that sort of thing. And this does it absolutely perfectly, like the track that we saw last week on the PS4 side. The reason that you're seeing 2 laps here is so you can see the Joker lap as well. That is obviously a feature of rallycross racing. If you want to find out anything about rallycross racing, it is a great sport. I would just search up the FIA World Rallycross Championship and find out a bit more about it, maybe watch some clips on YouTube. Very exciting sport. But yeah, it's extremely well created. It's the perfect length for a rallycross circuit, really short, really action-packed mix of roads and obviously off-road sections as well, and it just executes the idea of a rallycross track perfectly, just like what we saw from Redwood Rallycross 0.74 last week on PS4. So that one and this one that we're watching right now are probably the 2 best rallycross tracks that I've probably played on this game, I would say. Really good designs, and really just really well made and perfect for a rallycross circuit. Now next up we've got another rallycross circuit, the Junkyard, but this one I would say is less suited to what you would consider a high level rallycross event to be, which we've done one of those in the past, but it's not the most common thing to do. This is just a whole boatload of fun. It really is. You get 30 people, put it on non-contact if you want. Well, I would recommend putting it on non-contact if you have 30 people in a lobby, but even if you have a small number of people, you might be better off with non-contact on this kind of race. But this track is just, it's a rallycross track that is more geared towards having a good bit of fun. That wall around the outside that you're seeing right now, you can actually wall ride all the way around there if you get it right. It's very risky, and it's not necessarily the best idea, because you could certainly go very, very wrong, but it is certainly a lot quicker as well to do that. And it with the big jump that we see here as well, it does have the Joker lap, so you can still incorporate that. I really like the barn section as well, where you go through that sort of rundown warehouse barn thing, and you're braking within that section. It's very tight, it's very technical, you've got to thread the needle through it. That's where you go on the brakes, and you get great braking grip because you're suddenly changing from an off-road section to something that has more grip. So it's really, really good in that respect. You know, there's just some areas of this track that just really, really work well together. And like I said, it's just a lot of fun to go around here and try out different things and to thread the needle in different places. And it obviously fits in the theme very well with the junkyard, being around a junkyard and having all the junk signs everywhere else. So now we move on to our 2 stunt races. This is the first one. This isn't the one that I was talking about earlier, but it's certainly still a hell of a lot of fun and really, really good. Tongva. Really, really fun take on a stunt race, and in a rally start format. So at the moment it might look as though it's a standard stunt race and you're wondering why I chose the Omnis for it, you know, what you would consider to be a rally car, but that will come clear later on. And it's basically a cross between a stunt race that has a lot of, you know, fun aspects to it, the tubes, the big jumps, these tricky sections here, and then it also incorporates a high gradient uphill section off-road as well, and that's what you're going to see now as we round this corner. And it's just something completely fresh and new, very similar in that way to the Vapid Rapid Rally. I might have got that the wrong way around, but the trophy truck stunt race that we saw last week in the PS4 video, you know, it's not just playing to the same ideas of a Rockstar created stunt race, you know, or a better version of a Rockstar stunt race. It's actually something fresh, something interesting, and something a bit challenging as well. It isn't the easiest thing to get around, and I think that's what's lost when it comes to some stunt races, that some of them are either really challenging, and they're too challenging obstructively. So if you have lots of wall rides that take minutes to get, and it's just not as fun as having a race that has a bit of flow. But then you've got other races that all they have is flow, and there's no challenge and no skill involved in it. So this, you know, good stunt races mix that perfectly, and Tongva is one of those. A really great stunt race on the Xbox One there, and this is another one of those. This is, I'm gonna say it now, this is the best stunt race I have ever played. And when we played this at the end of an Xbox One content creator live stream, where the other tracks had been okay, but you know, kind of nothing was really doing anything for me on that live stream. This was the last track that we played, and I was blown away by the quality of this creation. It is astounding. Not only does it look impressive from the outside, it is wonderful to drive. It's a bit of a challenge, you know, you've got to make sure that you get these jumps correct, you've got to angle your car correctly. That camera angle is just insanely good. The way that you go slide along your roof and into the tube transitions are absolutely fantastic. It's the perfect example of a smooth race in terms of the transitions in the tubes that also has a little bit of challenge to it as well. And so often you see stunt races created that they feel very rough. They feel rough around the edges. Not a lot of testing has gone on with them. This in particular, this jump, just again, these transitions from one tube to another like that are just such an incredible experience to race around. And you know, it's not even as if it's creating a Rockstar track and just making it a little bit better. It is having brand new ideas, creative, original ideas of what you can do with a stunt race. You know, it has the big jumps, it has the high speed sections, but it's also got that challenge and skill involved with that as well. It looks fantastic, and it's just It's just ultimately an incredible experience to race around this track. There's a few people who don't like it, and stunt tracks aren't for everybody. I can certainly understand that, but for me, and it always seems to be a hit with most people when we play it on streams, this is easily the best stunt track we've ever played. There are some fantastic stunt tracks that we have on the PS4 version and on the video that we saw last week, and then we'll have 2 really good stunt tracks on PC as well next week. But this is the best, and it's just an incredible experience to drive around this. So much fun, and I highly recommend giving it a go. It's a shame that everybody can't experience this. Obviously, this is the Xbox One version of the of this video. If you are on PS4 or PC, you don't have access to these races because cross-platform races isn't a thing in GTA. So unfortunately for those of you on different platforms, you're not going to be able to experience that race. But yeah, it does make it a bit of a shame that that's the case, because it is one hell of a race. Okay, so our final 2 races fall into the themed race category, and this is an amazing creation again, in a completely different way. Take it to church. The creator of this race has created a church. He's created a church from the stunt props, and you get to race around in a church. It has the usual things that you would expect to see in a church. It's got the pews and all the main areas of a church that we'd see. There's also a hidden area, I believe, at least it says so in the description, that you can try to find, and it's kind of like a game of first person to find it wins, that sort of thing. But this is perfectly encapsulating that themed race aspect. It's not really a proper circuit race like the first 6 races that we saw. You can still race around it and have high quality clean racing, there's no doubt about it. You can do that with a lot of races, but it's got a specific theme. It's wanting to create a church and have you be able to race around inside of it, and it fits that theme perfectly. It's an incredible creation. Obviously must have took an incredible amount of time to actually make it. And then obviously it's got a few little bits of regular racing roads around this part, around the start and finish of the lap. Nothing that is groundbreaking if you're comparing it to a proper racing circuit like the first 6 tracks that we saw, but it just it mixes up that experience so that you do have a bit of what you could say standard racing, and you get these great views of the entire church creation when you round some corners and things like that. So just a really interesting, really fresh, completely unique style of track. This is the sort of thing that you couldn't ever imagined would have been created, and you would ever be able to race inside a church creation like this when GTA first was released. You would have never imagined that would be the case. So the final race here is over and under SST, Stadium Super Truck race, and again does this perfectly. It has a theme. It wants to create a Stadium Super Truck race using trophy trucks. This is the whole idea with this. It's got a few jumps, it's got a few wobbly bumpy sections, goes over and under itself with the bridge. It sets out to do a theme, and it pays on that theme perfectly. It's a really good creation for something, again, a little bit different to just a standard race that you might be used to. So those are my 12 best of races for Xbox One. This is obviously taking all the Xbox One live streams, all the tracks that we've played, and these are ultimately my 12 favourites. It was very difficult to ultimately pick 12 finalists, I guess you could say, and that's the same on all platforms. It's been very difficult to whittle them down to just 12, but I think we've got a really good selection. We had a really good selection with PS4 last week, and we've got a really good selection again with Xbox One, and I definitely recommend anybody who is on Xbox One, check the description for the links to all these races, and you'll be able to download them and play them. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. We're going to have the PC version of this video and the best ofs next week. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.